Does Canada still need to be putting on these pride parades? My view is definitely not. No other group of people gets this much attention constantly every year. What's going on? I'm going to react to this 2-minute video here from CBC. I have not watched it other than the first maybe 7 seconds. Here we go.
Colors, sparkles, and cheers filled the streets of downtown Vancouver Sunday. The city's annual Pride Parade drew thousands.
Pride is a way for me to...
So before we react to this, is the only part I've seen this. What the heck kind of face mask is that? But you can see here that says Vancouver's Pride Parade smaller due to budget cuts. I just wonder why these Pride Parades are still necessary. Like, what rights do gay people have that do straight people have that gay people don't? Why do you need to keep having these parades? I think you're just alienating people at this point. Like, is it not would not be a better strategy just to be kind of have a normal life, which I would definitely argue you can in Canada if you're gay. There's very few people that are very, at least publicly, appalled or whatever by seeing a gay person. You could even argue it's like an advantage in certain situations. Like maybe when you're applying for a job, if there's some sort of checkbox you get to tick off, it can
express myself.
It can be an advantage. So I wonder like why these parades, like, I just feel like it's at a point where wouldn't like other gay people every year when these happen, like now it's in August, it's happening again. Don't like other gay people that maybe don't like to go to these parades just wonder like, are these parades kind of going against what their intent was maybe at the beginning? Like you could definitely argue that if you're like trying to get gay marriage approved or whatever, happened, or maybe in times in society when being openly gay, which obviously like 30 years ago, it wasn't as accepted. People would hide it and stuff like that. But I just think these parades are getting a little bit ridiculous just because there's other problems in society. It's starting to feel like the LGBT community, it seems a little bit like we're so special. I don't know.
As a queer person, and
by the way, I'm not even trying to be like a jerk by saying this. It's just at some point the society has other things to be focused on. Like, what about a parade for the working class? What about a parade for like Uber drivers? Like, why is this just this one thing all the time? Like parade, and it's still like budget cuts. Like there's a budget for it. I don't know. It's quite strange, I think.
dress the way I want and feel like myself.
There's so many wonderful and beautiful, LGBTQ people in the world, and we should all be recognized and be treated equally.
You already are, though. Again, like, yeah, you'll find some people online or just some people in general that don't like anything, but you can do it with literally anything. Like if you had a parade here for right-wing conservatives, a lot of people wouldn't like that. Or a parade for left-wing socialists. A lot of people on the other side would not like that. So that line of, oh, we should all be accepted. Come on. Like, everybody's life is difficult in different ways. It's just these parades. I for sure think they're having like the opposite effect now than they think they are. I think it's just making people kind of roll their eyes and be like, why is this always like, for example, I'm 34 years old. Is this going to be my entire life? My entire adult life, I've been seeing all these parades going. Like, at some point in the span of my life, it just clearly looks more advantageous to be gay. If you get these celebrations all the time, what other group of people gets that? And again, like, we don't need to live in the past. Let's live in 2025. What's happening right now? Come on.
It's like a lovely community to see everyone come together, even just allies, so it's really nice.
Among Pride goers was Prime Minister Mark.
Again, that's fine if you want to have these, but even just this headline, Vancouver's Pride Parade smaller due to budget cuts, it implies that there's some budget, some money is coming there. Like, they got the Prime Minister of Canada to come to this. Like, and again, it's August. Isn't Pride Month June? So like it doesn't quite compute. Like, there's nothing in the world that's even a close second in terms of how many celebrations there are. What would be second? Christmas? And it's like there's the hype for Christmas is about a month. Pride, it's way longer than a month.
Kearney.
It's to be who we want to be. It's to love whom we want to love. It's the freedom. It's the diversity. It's the pride. It's the celebration. It's what's great.
You can just do that though. Like, what about everyone else? Again, I'll say the similar things, but what about everybody else in society with problems? Like, man.
Great about our country, and I'm just thrilled to be part of it.
This year's parade was shorter and simpler than previous years. Organizers say they were forced to make do with budget cuts after about half of their corporate sponsors backed out, among them Lululemon and Walmart.
The U.S. Companies are seeing a lot.
It's kind of interesting, but Lululemon's not a U.S. company.
A lot of pressure about DEI and making too much noise about inclusion and diversity, and that's a real shame. There's also...
It's not a shame. I don't even know if that's what the U.S. companies, their stance would exactly be. I don't know about that. Some of these companies probably just look at this as, are we getting like a return on investment anymore? Maybe the companies look at it and say, why do we need to keep giving this every year? That's how I feel. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm not overly religious, to be honest. Like, so when I see this stuff, like, it doesn't, from a religious point of view, I'm just fine with, basically all of this. It just doesn't have to happen. Not all of it. Like, there's the craziness at the Pride parades. I'm definitely not, but I'm fine with, like, when gay marriage would have been approved, have a parade and celebrate it. Like, I know some religious people are not fine with that. But that's just the truth. Like, I'm not overly religious at this point in my life. But the part that bothers me, it's just the consistency of these things. And then this attitude from this guy, like, oh, it's problematic that all these companies don't support this anymore. That's ridiculous. That's so absurd that you just, like, this guy sort of seems like he feels entitled to just have this great pride parade every year that gets sponsored by all these companies. It's ridiculous. Like, again, so many other things in society have to be addressed. Homelessness, flat economy, housing crisis. What is this?
Art.
The U.S. Companies are seeing a lot of pressure about DEI and making too much noise about inclusion and diversity, and that's a real shame. There's also, if you're having financial hardship as a corporation, it seems that cutting the Pride events and the support there is the easiest route.
OJ says despite
Man, you see that guy's pin? It said, like, I think it said Pride all year round or something. Proud all year.
Is the easiest route.
OJ says despite financial strain, the Pride Society has every intention of keeping the yearly celebration going and have asked the city to help sponsor the event in the future. It's something Mayor...
Again, like, that part, that's actually pathetic. That actually makes me upset. I don't live in Vancouver, but asks the city for help? For what? So there's, in some way, there's going to be some tax dollars supporting this event. No, man, no, enough. Honestly, I'm sure other people feel like this. Have your event in a park or something with, like, just a normal, you don't need tax dollars to support this event, or just have it online, or just have it in your freaking imagination. I'm serious. We don't, like, you can celebrate things, but then when you want to say, okay, the city support us, Vancouver, that actually pisses me off, to be quite frank. It's ridiculous. There's so many problems that people have that aren't related to your sexual orientation.
City to help sponsor the event in the future. It's something keeping the yearly celebration going. Despite financial strain, the Pride Society has every intention of keeping the yearly celebration going and have asked the city to help sponsor the event in the future. It's something Mayor Ken Sim says...
I do not like that at all. That's just the honest truth. That's my point of view. I do not like that.
Could be a possibility.
We'll obviously look at it, and I can, it's disappointing that other sponsors have stepped away, but at the City of Vancouver, we've maintained our commitment and we support Pride.
Vancouver's celebration is Canada's oldest Pride parade.
Oh my gosh, man. This thing does not need to be propped up by taxpayers or corporations. Just have it in some capacity that you can, funded by, like, the members or whatever. Like any other event. Maybe you have a entrance fee. It's $20 to come here, and then it can, like, you can hire security or whatever you want for your event that way. This is just very much I would for sure say a huge waste of money and just an insane way for even just a country, a society to have its priorities. For what? This is like, honestly, the analogy I think it is, it's like the Toronto Maple Leafs who won the Stanley Cup in 1967 still celebrating. Like, if you're gay in 2025, you can do the same things as a straight person. And you could have, that's been true for quite some time. And again, I'm not saying 100 years ago, I'm not saying in every country that's the case, but in Canada in 2025, let's live in the current year. I personally do not want to have to, like, not even that I have to, well, you do have to see it, like if you're walking around, but I mean, just, you do definitely have to see it as well. What I'm trying to say is online, and man, what am I going to be, 90 years old, still just like, oh, the yearly Pride event is happening again this week and then again next week. Come on.
Dating back to the 70s when it began as a protest march through Davie Village.
And pride is really important because it's so much better to celebrate our rights than to fight to get them back.
Organizers say,
or just have them, just like other people, just have the rights. Come on, man.
It's a tradition that must continue. Michelle Gomez, CBC News, Vancouver.
So I think you know what I feel about this. Yeah, this is not, I made my points in the video. Anyway, with that said, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.